Welcome to the ultimate tour of the Celebrity Reflection, the last and largest of the Solstice class of ships.
In this video, we're going to show you exactly where you can find almost everything on this entire ship. Along the way, we'll give you a tour of our stateroom and we'll share our experiences all around the Reflection, including the pools, the bars and restaurants, and the entertainment.
And be sure to stick around to the end because we're going to be sharing one of our favorite spots on the ship. Now let's get this tour started. We are starting here on Deck 3 because the lowest passenger deck, Deck 2, only consists of staterooms and the medical facility. Now here on Deck 3, you're going to find guest relations, the passport bar, the excursions desk, and a complimentary dining room. And we'll show you more of our experiences on Deck 3, starting right here in the foyer. Now we can already tell the vibe of this ship is totally different than the cruises we have been on lately. Now like the other cruise ships, the lowest level of the atrium often offers live music, a bar, and the guest services area. But here they've got the lights dimmed and it feels very calm. Now normally at this time of the cruise, there would be a line out the door at the guest services area, but there's hardly anybody over there right now.
So we figured we'd show you the menu here at the passport bar. If we did have the drink package, Jamie would probably be drinking the elderflower blush, and I would most likely be drinking the cucumber Collins. But since we don't have the drink package, we're actually going to be heading up to the liquor store in about 20 minutes because they're giving away free samples.
Here on the third floor, there is kind of a cool area where you can stand and watch all the glass elevators, and also if you look up, you can see the suspended tree. Now, if you're as into live music as we are, then the atrium is definitely one of the spots on the ship where you'll be spending a lot of time, as you can find several talented bands and solo musicians performing here throughout the day. But one atrium activity that I enjoyed even more than watching the live music was the silent disco, which took place on the second night of our 4-night cruise. If you really want to do silent disco, make sure to get here early because there is quite a bit of a line. Oh, it's already going!
So in case you're wondering, the green headphones are the oldies station, the red headphones are the Latin station, and the blue headphones are the pop station.
While I was feeling the pop music, Skylar definitely wasn't. But that's the great thing about silent disco. You get to dance and sing to your own tune, regardless of whether you can actually dance or sing.
Alright guys, so currently as you can see, almost everyone has the blue headphone on, and I'll give you one guess on who's actually playing on those right now. It's Bruno Mars.
Now, celebrity cruises may not be known for their parties, but that may soon change with cruise directors like Luigi, who had far more energy and better dance moves than any cruise director we've ever seen. On our 4-night cruise, there were actually 2 silent discos, but since the other one took place clear up in the Sky Lounge, we'll be showing you that one towards the end of this tour. Now getting back to the tour, we still have perhaps the most important part of Deck 3 to show you, the main dining rooms. Here in the foyer, guest relations is to my right, the passport bar is to my left, and the shore excursions desk is next to that. Now beyond that is one of the main dining rooms, and we're going to show you that next. Luminae is the complimentary dining room for those staying in the retreat, which is an exclusive area of the ship. Now this dining room does have a different menu, but we're not going to be able to show you that experience because we are not staying in the retreat on this ship. But we will be able to show you the complimentary dining experience in the Opus dining room, which is just across the way here on Deck 3. Spanning 2 decks and with a seating capacity for 1,450, the Opus dining room is one of the larger ones we've ever seen on a cruise ship, and we'd have to say it's one of the more elegant complimentary dining rooms as well. Now, in addition to this episode, we also filmed and rated all of our food experiences on the Celebrity Reflection, so if you're at all interested in seeing what the food is really like on this ship, we'd recommend watching this episode next. Now, while we do occasionally skip out on the main dining room in favor of a quick dinner at the buffet, we definitely would not recommend doing so on the final night of your cruise, as you won't want to miss out on this performance by the dining room staff. As we show you a little more of the performance, we want to know if you've cruised with celebrity. If so, let us know if you enjoyed the experience in the comments. Now, the Opus dining room does extend up to Deck 4, and we're going to meet you up there right now. In addition to the Opus dining room, you're going to find several bars and restaurants and the casino on Deck 4. Here in the midship area, you're going to find the Martini Bar on one side and Cellar Masters on the other. We are going to show you our experiences from both, and after that, we're going to take you to the shops and the casino. Now, as you can see, the Martini Bar behind me is a very popular place. That is probably where we would be if we had the premium drink package, because it has the best variety of martinis on the ship. Now, if you don't have that drink package, they are going to cost you about $17 each. Another thing to point out is that the bar there is made of ice, so if you sit around the bar, it helps keep your drink cold. In addition to serving some of the best drinks, the bartenders at the Martini Bar also put on a pretty good show. Now on the other side of the elevators from the Martini Bar on Deck 4 is where you'll find Cellar Masters. Now this bar is kind of a jack of all trades. It kind of feels like you're in an old pub, and it probably offers the biggest variety of craft beer, wine, and bourbon. It also offers pub food and sports on the TVs. And I know the cameraman particularly loves this bar because it offers 2 of his favorite beers. Just outside of Cellar Masters is where you'll find Fortune's Casino, the spot on the Reflection for gamblers ages 21 and up. It is the morning on a port day, and as you can see, this casino is not open. It will be opening up later today. Now, we did want to note that unlike the last cruise ship we sailed on, it doesn't appear that this casino allows smoking because we have not smelled any smoke in it. Next to the casino is the entertainment court, and it was a very popular place last night.
We're here at Celebrity Central, and we're not sure what they normally use this area for, but currently they have some sort of trivia game show going on, and they do also have a bar.
Now just a few steps from Celebrity Central and the entertainment court is where shopaholics can find their spot at the shops on the boulevard. The shops are closed right now because we're in port, but this area was crazy last night. Now since Skylar is not a fan of crowded shops, except when it's to get free alcohol, we decided to check out the shops when they were a little less busy. And while we show you a little more of what the Deck 4 shops have to offer, we do want to mention that we have a whole lot of other cruise content on this channel with much more to come. So if you're enjoying this video so far and want to see more of our ship tours and adventures at sea, be sure to subscribe to Explorcation and turn the notifications on.
So not surprisingly, there's a really good turnout for the free booze tasting today. It sounds like we're going to get to try a few different liqueurs and some bourbon. So they gave us 2 cups because Jamie's here with me, but Jamie's not going to be drinking, which means I get to try 2 of each. Very sweet, very smooth, pretty good.
And this one is the Amarula. After 2 more free samples of liqueur, Skylar was already feeling pretty good before he even got to the bourbon.
So our final sample is Woodford Reserve Bourbon, and honestly, I'm not that big of a bourbon fan, but I am a big fan of free samples, and on a cruise, the free samples always win out. Yeah, still not a big fan of bourbon.
Next to the shops is where you're going to find the Future Cruise office. Now this office is quite big compared to the other cruise lines we've been on lately, but we do know from past experience that you can get some pretty good cruise deals by visiting here. Next to the Future Cruise office is the Conference Center, and beyond that is the Reflections Theater. With a capacity of 1,113 guests, the massive Celebrity Theater actually extends from decks 3 through 5. Now, while I often enjoy a little time on the stage during our cruise tours, this stage seemed to always be in use, whether for practice or actual performances. Speaking of performances, both a magic show and a Broadway musical took place in the theater during our cruise.
So I just got out of the Broadway show in the theater, and I gotta be honest, I'm not a huge Broadway fan, and therefore I can't say I particularly love this show, but I will say those are some of the more talented performers we've ever seen on a cruise ship, and we both also love that there's a live orchestra through the entire show.
Now that you've seen everything that Deck 4 has to offer, it's time to head up to Deck 5. Now the rest of Deck 5 is what Skylar likes to call the fancy floor because it has the higher end boutiques, some higher end bars, as well as a lot of the specialty restaurants, which you do have to pay extra for. Next to the theater is the photo center, so if you have your photos taken on the cruise, you can come here to check them out. But we haven't taken any yet. Now on the other side of the ship is where you're going to find most of those fancy shops. Because we are in port, they are closed, but for those of you who love to shop, we'll show you what's available. Next to the shops is the World Class Bar, which is an upscale bar that offers really unique handcrafted cocktails.
So the world-class bar is where you would have found the molecular bar if you sailed with Celebrity on the Solstice class ships a few years back. This is definitely the place to go if you want some fancier cocktails that aren't martinis.
Around the corner from the bar is the coffee shop, which offers coffee and espresso drinks for purchase and complimentary pastries and snacks throughout the day. Now, we did try the lattes and several of the baked goods at Cafe Al Baccio during our cruise, and to find out what our favorites were, as well as our overall thoughts on this cafe, be sure to tune in to our Celebrity Reflection food episode after this one. We should also mention that the coffee shop is connected to a gelateria where you can purchase gelato, and they offer up to 10 flavors each day. The rest of this deck is primarily specialty dining, so we're going to show you that, starting with Sushi on 5. Sushi on 5 is their Japanese restaurant. It primarily offers sushi, hot pots, and noodles. Now, we didn't eat here during this cruise, but we have eaten at Sushi on 5 on another celebrity cruise ship, and we thought it was excellent. Next to Sushi on 5 is the Captain's Club desk, and on the other side of the ship is the entrance to the Ensemble Lounge. Before you get to the bar here in the Ensemble Lounge, you'll see Michael's Club behind me. Now, you can only access this if you book a suite on the ship. Right next to Michael's Club on the way to the rest of the specialty restaurants is the Ensemble Lounge. Now, this bar offers some vintage cocktails. Skylar struggles often to find a good dirty martini on cruise ships, but they actually have it on the menu here, so we're guessing they do it well. Now, in addition to good cocktails, the Ensemble Lounge is also a great spot to enjoy some chill music on the Reflection. But now that you know where to grab a drink at the rear of Deck 5, it's time to check out the options for dining. Murano is a French-inspired restaurant and is probably the most elegant restaurant on the ship. While we show you around this beautiful restaurant, we do want to mention that we rarely choose to eat at the four-fee restaurants on Celebrity because we find their complimentary food to already be extremely good. But if you've dined at any of the specialty restaurants on a Celebrity ship, let us know where and if you found it to be worth the extra charge in the comments. Blue is a complimentary dining room for Aqua Class guests. It has a spa-inspired menu and today has gorgeous views of the Florida Keys. Now, if you're considering booking Aqua Class on your next Celebrity cruise, it may just be worth it for these amazing breakfast and dinner views alone. Cuisine is described as a whimsical dining experience. We're not really sure what that means because we've never dined at a cuisine restaurant. So if you have and can better explain the experience, please let us know in the comments. In the meantime, we'll show you inside. Last but certainly not least is the Tuscan Grill, which is an Italian restaurant that is the largest of the specialty restaurants. It is located on the back of the ship and has panoramic views. Before we leave Deck 5, we do want to mention that on this level you can walk outside of the ship to enjoy some ocean views. You won't find much other than those ocean views out on the sides of the ship, but you do at least have comfortable chairs to sit in. Now, before we give you a tour of our room and the upper decks, there are a few things we want to show you on decks 6 through 11. Now, usually on our cruise ship tours, we would be skipping the floors that are primarily staterooms, but on this Celebrity ship, there is a unique venue on these floors, including the Celebrity Eye Lounge on the 6th floor. Open 24 hours, the Celebrity Eye Lounge is an internet computer room where guests can actually purchase Apple computers and accessories or attend computer classes and consultations. On decks 7 and 8, you'll find the Hideaway, which is a quiet spot to relax, and it has a nice view of the suspended tree. Now, a lot of cruisers may not know this because it is a bit hidden, but there is a coffee and tea station here in the Hideaway. On Deck 9, you'll find the game room, which offers some board games and electronic table games. You'll find the library on Decks 10 and 11, which is another quiet spot to enjoy a book. Next, we're going to show you our stateroom, which we toured yesterday. Welcome to room 9121, a balcony stateroom. Now, the Celebrity Reflection is the newest of the Solstice class, but it is quite aged, so you're not going to find any buttons inside to communicate with your room attendant. So if you do want your privacy, you are going to have to put this on the outside of your door. As soon as you enter, you will find the switch for the lights in the hallway as well as the thermostat to control the temperature. Now this is a bit old school, but we don't mind as long as it works. Next, we're going to show you the bathroom. Now, even though this bathroom is dated, we found it to be quite spacious and functional. It's got a really big mirror, some counter space, a couple of small drawers, a bunch of shelves, and even a cabinet. And they definitely do not skimp on the body lotion. Now, this bathroom does have a capsule shower. It's probably the biggest capsule shower that we have had on a cruise before. It also has shampoo, conditioner, shower gel, and a place to rest your foot when shaving your legs. Just outside the bathroom, you'll find a full-length mirror, and around the corner from that is the closet. Here's where you'll find the really soft celebrity robes and a bunch of hangers. Now, you may have noticed that there aren't any shelves in the closet, which makes it a great spot to store your luggage. Unlike the last cruise we went on, this living space does have an actual chair, as well as a couch that could easily fit 3 to 4 people. Across from the couch is a seating area with a smaller mirror. It has a drawer, which is where you're going to find your hair dryer. It is quite old, but it is functional. Now, this is also where you're going to find the outlets for the room. There are 2 American outlets, 1 international outlet, and no USB port. So we are really regretting not bringing our international converter to allow us to use all 3 outlets. Now, if you're interested in an international converter, we'll leave a link to the one we like to use in the video description. Next to the sitting area is the TV, a few drawers for storage, the room safe, which our laptop barely fit into, as well as the mini fridge, which did fit our 2 bottles of wine that we were allowed to bring on board. Now, we do want to mention that this TV swivels quite a bit, so you can actually watch it from your king bed or even out on the balcony, which we're going to show you shortly. There are cubbies for additional storage on either side of the bed, and there are 2 very large cabinets above the bed as well. Now, the last thing to show you is, of course, the balcony, and right now we have got a huge cargo ship going right past us. Wow. Now, the last thing to show you today is the balcony. Today we have a view of Fort Lauderdale because we're in Port Everglades, and because this stateroom is near the front of the ship, we also have a view of the bridge. Now that you've seen our balcony stateroom, we'll meet you a few floors up to show you the rest of the ship. If you've made it this far in the tour, then there's a good chance that you have either booked on the Reflection or are considering booking in the future. And it's likely that you'll be visiting Fort Lauderdale because it's currently sailing out of Port Everglades. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay before or after your cruise in the Port Everglades area, then you might be interested in our AC Hotel episode. We stayed there 2 days before this cruise. It was a great property. The location was right across from the beach with amazing views of the Atlantic. There was a lot of stuff to do in the area, and it was only a few miles from the port. We'll leave a link to that episode in the video description, but for now, let's show you what's on Deck 12. Now, you won't find too much here on Deck 12 because it is mainly staterooms. Midship here, this is identified as the future cruise sales area, but it has been changed to the Captain's Club Concierge Desk. And then at the front of the ship, you'll find the Aqua Spa and Fitness Center. Now, we toured both of those on our first day, so we'll show you that footage right now. If you're at all like us, then you may struggle to find the motivation to visit the gym on a cruise ship, but when you've got views like these, it does make it a bit easier. We found this gym to offer a good variety of cardio machines, free weights, a cycling room, and a really good-sized yoga room. So the fitness center is open 24/7, and the Persian Garden is the relaxation area. You do have to buy access to it, but they only offer so many passes per cruise, so it doesn't get too busy. In addition to offering some great spots to relax, the spa is where you can also find a cold room, an IV lounge, and a long list of salon services. And you can book a variety of massages here at the front desk as well. Now that you've seen what Deck 12 has to offer, it's time to head another floor up to Deck 14. Here on Deck 14, you're going to find the buffet, pools and bars, access to the suites, and the Sky Lounge. We're going to start here and work our way to the back. Now, because this is located at the very front of the ship, it has great views whether you're in port or at sea. Now, there have been a variety of activities scheduled in this lounge during our cruise. We came here on the first night for live band karaoke, and it was a lot of fun.
Now, here in the Sky Lounge, Celebrity does something kind of unique. It is karaoke with a live band. Now, it doesn't get near as rowdy as the Carnival karaoke, but it's still pretty entertaining. Here at the Sky Lounge, the cocktails are unique because they are Constellation inspired.
And while we did not have a drink package on this cruise, it didn't stop us from getting some complimentary drinks at this Captain's Club event in the Sky Lounge.
As soon as we walked into this Captain's Club event, we were able to meet the captain, other officers, and the cruise director, and they gave us free drinks right away. Skylar got 2.
It is 10:30 in the morning also.
Now, normally this event is in the evening, but for some reason they had to reschedule this one, which is why it is now at 10:30 in the morning. So the Captain's Club is Celebrity's loyalty program. It is free to join, and once you reach a certain status, you get invited to the Captain's Toast. Now at this toast, you can meet the captain and other officers. They also offer complimentary drinks and snacks, so it's definitely worth your time, especially if you don't have the drink package.
Now the Sky Lounge was also where they held the second silent disco of our cruise, and to say this event was popular would be an understatement. In fact, they actually ran out of headphones, but thankfully we reached the front of the line while there were still a few left.
Next to the Sky Lounge is the Solarium, which is reserved for guests 16 and above. Now they play really relaxing music in here, and it's temperature controlled. If we weren't filming this entire cruise, we would be spending a lot more time in here. We also want to mention that they have the Spa Cafe here. It's open for breakfast and lunch most days, and it offers healthier options, which we'll show you now.
While we did dine at the Spa Cafe once on our cruise, the main reason we visited the solarium was for the relaxation, as at times we could have a hot tub or even an entire pool to ourselves.
The water temperature in this pool is really nice. Now, other cruise ships we've been on recently have a similar area to this, but Celebrity is the only one we've experienced where this area is playing really calm and relaxing music. On other ships, it's sometimes been full of kids screaming, so this is a nice change. Just past the solarium is the pool deck, where you'll find 2 pools, 4 hot tubs, a bar, and a ton of loungers. Some of them are in the sun and some of them are in the shade. Now, if you get out here early enough, you might be able to snag a lounger that has extra padding.
Now, while there were certainly times when the main pool deck was a bit crazy, there were also times when it was mostly empty, especially in the mornings on port days. But once the sun went down and the cruisers were back on the ship, the pool deck once again became the place to be, especially on the night of the full moon party.
Just next to the pool deck is the Ocean View Cafe, which we'll show you more of right now.
Now, while the main buffets on many other older cruise ships may not be too impressive, the Reflections definitely is, as it offers both better variety and better quality of food than most of the other cruise ships we've sailed on. And while you'll have to watch our Reflection dining episode to see a whole lot more of what this buffet has to offer, we will give you a quick glimpse into some of our favorites. Now, just off of the buffet at the very back of Deck 14 is where you'll find a bunch of outdoor seating, a great spot to enjoy your meal from the buffet when you're looking to get away from the crowds.
At the very front of Deck 15 is where you'll find the sports court and a bunch of loungers. Now, we are in port today, so we have this area all to ourselves.
One thing we've always loved about Celebrity cruises is that you can consistently find quiet areas that are great for relaxing, but having these amazing views from the front of Deck 15 with no one else around was still a bit of a surprise.
At the front and top of the ship, you'll find the kids club area, the masked bar and grill, and the solstice deck. We'll show you more of those before heading to the back of the ship.
Now, if you're bringing kids on your cruise, they'll likely be spending lots of time at the X Club or Camp at Sea, which each have their own activities and age ranges. Before we show you what can be found at the middle and back of Deck 15, we're going to head up one floor to Deck 16, where at the very top of the ship, you'll find the solstice deck, another great spot to soak up some sun while avoiding the crowds.
The solstice deck is the highest on the ship, and it is very peaceful and quiet as long as there isn't anybody in the sports court. It has probably some of the best views of the entire ship. Back down on 15, as you make your way towards the middle of the ship, you'll find the jogging track as well as the masked bar and grill. We found the masked bar to serve the same drinks as the pool bar, but with much better views.
The Mass Bar was one of Skylar's 2 favorite bars on the ship due to it being open air and having fantastic ocean views.
We should mention that this bar is right next to another smoking area, which is right behind me, but let's head over to the grill. The Mass Bar offers made-to-order hamburgers and hot dogs, and it's a quick and easy option if you want to skip the buffet.
In addition to having some pretty solid burgers, one of the things I loved about the Mass Grill is that they also offer soft-serve ice cream and some great views of the pool deck. On the back of Deck 15 is the Lawn Club, which is where you'll find an art gallery, 2 more specialty dining restaurants, a green space, as well as probably our favorite spot on the ship. On one side is the Porch, which is a restaurant that offers a variety of seafood, outdoor seating, and amazing views. On the other side, you'll find the art studio and a space for outdoor games. In this area, you'll also find the Lawn Club Grill, which specializes in grilled meats and seafoods and offers more outdoor seating. The lawn is lined with alcoves which you can rent, but there are also beanbags you can use to enjoy a movie or watch a sporting event. On the way to the back of the ship is a putting area. Now, while we did occasionally see the putting green used for putting, this spot was easily at its most popular during sail away. Now that we've shown you nearly everything the Reflection has to offer, it's time to show you our favorite spot on the ship.
Now here at the very back of Deck 15 is the Sunset Bar, which is one of our favorite spots on the ship, and we'll show you more of our experience here right now.
While the Sunset Bar was another extremely popular spot at sail away, oftentimes it looked more like this.
We're here around 6:30 when a lot of the ship is either in the dining room or getting ready for dinner. So one of the perks of having that later dining option is that you can come up here and have it almost entirely to yourself. So tonight we are enjoying some frozen cocktails.
Now they do have some fruity cocktails, champagnes, and wines on the menu here at the Sunset Bar, but they will also make some frozen drinks upon request like they've done for us here tonight. We should also mention that they occasionally have live music here, and it's also next to the smoking section, and they do sell cigars and cigarettes.
By now, you should know your way around this entire ship, but if you want to see more of the dining experiences on the Celebrity Reflection, then you're definitely going to want to check out this episode next. Thanks for watching!